Where were you when the downfall of Xbox began?
Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and we are sitting down to talk about Xbox Game Pass. We have a lot more information since the major changes hit the service last week, where we sat down to talk about the various tiers, some of the value being stripped away from some, like the standard or console tier, as well.
All of the value being stripped away that you previously had, in return for no absolute benefit. And, on top of that, price hiking. Isn't that exciting?
How PC Game Pass is really winning out big, and how Ultimate has now been moved up to $20. Amidst all this were a few questions and some lingering emotions because the reaction to the Game Pass changes wasn't immediate anger until I think some more information set in, and I also think the reality that Xbox is not
I'm pretty sure it was a lot of immediate anger.
really focusing on console growth anymore was also setting in. We're going to get into all of that.
Listen, the fact that I made an Xbox bad video, and then made another Xbox bad video, and there were almost no Xbox fanboys yelling in the sky and pointing fingers in each direction and saying, "You're completely wrong. Yes, everything's more expensive and there's less value in everything that we can now buy. Oh, but it's still amazing." Yeah, those people didn't exist. That's rare. That's almost unheard of. This is really bad. Even the hardcore Xbox fanboys are not looking at this like a major win. They are looking at it as it is, and it's bad.
Especially that last point being a big focal point of this video here, where you're going to see multiple things I show you is Xbox's gaze is averting. They are not focused on console as much in the terms of growth. They're still going to support you. You're good enough to keep around, but they're being not as loyal in their relationship, if you will. So we're going to break all that.
To explain that further, Xbox is pretty much giving up on console. It's still making money, but considering all that they have done, everything with the Game Pass, all the games, all the studios they have acquired, and none of that is seemingly even remotely close affecting consoles as nearly much as they wanted to, means that they understand they have no future in the console race.
Down. First, I do want to clear up a touch of misinformation. There was this Microsoft reward story getting covered a lot by various outlets where they're saying that it's making big changes related to Xbox Game Pass. Those changes being that people thought you could no longer buy Xbox Game Pass with your Microsoft rewards points. These are points you can gather by completing, say, Game Pass quests or doing challenges within the rewards program, like using Bing, all that sort of stuff. And there were people
No one has claimed that reward ever.
Who farmed points over there. There have been a lot of changes to the service since then, but you can still effectively pay for your Game Pass subscription if you're really invested in the Xbox ecosystem. Fortunately, what we've learned is just auto renewal through these points has been canceled as Xbox has clarified, hey, Game Pass member, we're making a change to auto redeem reward options, which means your current discounted Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass auto redeem subscription is going away August 12, 2024. You can still use your points on a new auto redeem subscription or explore the catalog for other rewards. So many people thought you weren't going to be able to use your reward points anymore to get Game Pass, but that's not the case. Now let's get into more pressing news here.
Yeah, it was written on black and white that is not the case. You can still renew. Good for Xbox people, I guess.
Specifically, a big question coming out of the news last week on Xbox Game Pass is what's going on with this console or standard tier. What we learned is day one Game Pass is gone. Okay, but for how long? Now, my initial theory was like 3 months max. I don't think you want to just pull it completely away from them. But then I theorized that you look at something such as Starfield or Forza Horizon, where these were random games Xbox did a little bit of, hey, you pay a little extra and you get early access for this game. And I think Xbox has tried in multiple cases to prey on the fear of missing out, right? And so
just in multiple cases. I'm sorry, but every company, not even Xbox, PlayStation does it. Every company does it. FOMO works. If FOMO didn't work, companies would not do it. FOMO is amazing.
So here where we learn when Paris Lilly is saying, when will new releases enter Game Pass standard? Jez Corden says, they told me case-by-case basis between 6 and 12 months and sometimes longer. So the goal here, I'm imagining, is to keep you floating around the $15 or standard tier and continuing to invest in that. And when you see an Avowed, when you see something along the lines of Call of Duty or whatever piques your interest, maybe you upgrade. Or if they have a great stretch of releases, like it's looking like to be this holiday period, maybe they keep you in for those 4 months, and that's beneficial to them. I imagine they've mathed out the math. I don't know how it's going to make sense to them. I know Microsoft is an overall kind of revenue company, so like hardware could be at a loss, but gaming subscriptions could be up. Gaming revenue in general, like sales, could be in a middle ground area. But
does Microsoft work like this? Literally yesterday, Microsoft full-blown just said that they are getting rid, not getting rid, they already got rid of their whole DUI division. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the leader of that division wrote an email to Microsoft saying, yeah, DUI, as every single person with more than 2 brain cells predicted, literally adds no value to a company. The fact that Microsoft got rid of the woke garbage nonsense, man, that's a game changer, okay? That's a game changer right there. So I don't know how much, maybe Microsoft is an overall making profit is good type of company, but I have never heard of that, honestly. I am very sure that Microsoft, as every other company, is looking at, you know, they have their things that they have their consoles, they have their IT, they have their whatever different type of divisions that they have, and they are looking at stuff that's underperforming, but they are saying, okay, it's underperforming currently, but there's a lot of potential in it, and we're going to put money into that potential. And this is the story of Xbox. They put a lot of money in it, and it didn't work. Also, by the way, you want to hear something hilarious? How much Microsoft paid to acquire Activision Blizzard? 80 billion or something like that? Just Activision Blizzard, you know, the game that kind of has destroyed World of Warcraft and no one cares about and everyone hates nowadays. But they still play their games, okay? 80 billion or something like that. And now Microsoft went up to Gabe and said, hey, do you want to sell Steam for 19 billion? Bro, Steam is a $1 trillion company at this point, I honestly think. Steam is literally the whole PC market for gaming. That's not an over-exaggeration. Yeah, there are some, you know, good old games and things like that floating around and stuff, but it is Steam. At the end of the day, all of these big companies, Microsoft and everything, what do? They just crawl back to Steam on their knees and sell their games there, because without Steam, there is not enough revenue in the PC base. And Microsoft offered Gabe 19 billion for Steam. Imagine that! Only 19 billion for the whole goddamn PC gaming market. Man, someone probably thought, hey, I'm just gonna try our luck. Maybe Gabe accidentally just puts a signature on it or something like that. Hey, why not?
overall the business is profitable, good, keep doing what you're doing. Like, that's how Xbox operates. So I try not to read too deeply into one particular facet of the bunch, doing a little bit of something weird compared to the rest. But still, what we're learning here is that day one Game Pass on the standard tier may take up to half a year to get you new games. Like, Avowed in November means you're going to see that in like May or June, the earliest, the following year, which is really crazy to think about. What I think this is going to incentivize for some people is to unsubscribe and just subscribe when they see something worth their time, which we already talked about last week.
By the way, that is completely not the thing that Xbox wants. They do not want you to ever unsubscribe from Game Pass. They just effectively want you to upgrade the thing and spend more money. If this actually ends up in people unsubscribing for Game Pass for whatever reason, they're going to instantaneously just completely scrap this approach and make something new.
Week, and how I imagine with the $20 price point at Ultimate and forcing everyone into there for day one, Xbox has done some sort of math saying these extra $3-4, at least in the US equivalent, is going to get us over the hump financially a little bit more, where at least we're getting $20 a pop out of a $70 game for our subscription service. Meanwhile, we're going to sell it on all other platforms. I think this is the big home run swing to see how things pan out, but nonetheless, they are gearing themselves up for.
It's not an incorrect take what he just said, but it's such a lukewarm, barely understand what's happening analysis of the situation. It's kind of crazy.
A potential future where, let's say, Call of Duty doesn't move the needle for them, which I don't think that's going to be the case. I just don't know how much it'll move the needle, but I do think it's going to...
Oh, of course it's going to move the needle. But the question is how much, because Xbox is banking big on this, obviously.
To do something for the service. I mean, Call of Duty is just so massive that we're seeing it move mountains already in 2024 with what's considered one of the worst entries in the entire series. So I feel like Xbox has every right to kind of believe that this could change the course of Game Pass. But let's say it doesn't. Now they're not losing out big time and overreacting to a potential problem down the line where they're giving out day one in the $15 tier and they're like, oh, we're losing out big, we're not getting new subscribers from Call of Duty like we expected, and let's like reel this in a little bit. Now on top of this information about the Game Pass tier changes was probably supposed to break with an announcement of sorts to soften the blow. Like we saw with the business update that Xbox did, they sat down and announced, oh, Diablo's coming to Game Pass. They had a couple other nuggets, a couple other gems in the overall.
The fact that Diablo is coming to Game Pass was an admission of defeat of the highest magnitude. Diablo, Blizzard's most quickly selling game, and they put it on the Game Pass, and they put it on Steam. Jesus Christ, has Diablo 4 failed at an absolutely unprecedented level.
Overall, what many would consider to be bad news on the future of Xbox. We learned here through Insider Gaming that Modern Warfare 3 is set to come to Game Pass this month, which is a little surprising as we just learned it's the #2 best-selling game of the year. So it continues to do really well despite any sort of internet discourse. It just goes to say that the internet is not real life, and I say this as someone who worked.
By the way, the fun part about all of their calculations that Xbox have done, I am willing to bet my life on it, by the way, and my pride as an analyst, is the fact that they are calculating all of these things with the idea that there's not gonna be any hit contest for Call of Duty players. That the COD player base is gonna stay as stable as it is now, and there's not gonna be any breakout hit that actually can damage COD in player base. And, well, if that happens, they're completely screwed. If that happens, they are completely... No way. If a competitor to COD suddenly emerges and is fighting for their player base, oh my god, Xbox is in deep.
Works on the internet. But at the bottom of this post here, Tom Henderson writes, it's understood that the announcement could come as soon as today, which this was on July 10th, which is believed to have been the original plan for Xbox Game Pass with its price changes and increases. At the same time, we also learned that Black Ops 6 is going to have a beta with early access to said beta going from August 30th to September 4th for both pre-orders and Game Pass subscribers. So yeah, we're already seeing Xbox leaning into Call of Duty in a pretty heavy, meaningful way. They're planning on using it to soften a blow with the tier changes, with the price changes. And now we're also seeing here with the early access to the beta that they're leaning into Game Pass subscribers. Similar to what we just talked about with Concord over on PS5, where they didn't see, I imagine, a ton of pre-orders for the game. And so they changed from just pre-orders for that closed beta to really opening things up to all PS Plus premium subscribers. And so we're seeing here Xbox is going to lean into Call of Duty and Game Pass at any chance they can get. Now, granted, if you've already pre-ordered it, then you don't have to be a part of Game Pass, but this is something to continue to watch out for. It's really important for those who are heavily invested in the ecosystem to monitor the success of Call of Duty, because I do think a lot hinges on this release. Now, fortunately, from what we saw in the developer direct, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is shaping up to be an absolute banger, and I say this as someone who's not a massive Call of Duty fan. Like, it looks really, really good. So I'm excited for this beta. I'll be checking it out, and this is the first time in years I've felt some sort of optimism for Call of Duty. So very excited to see what Black Ops 6 does. So those are some of the changes on what's going on with Game Pass standard tier. And some people are wondering, why are console users being, as they would put it, betrayed? And I get it, because this service was built off your back, but this is the reality of a company trying to grow and raise its bottom line. Is they're not interested in loyalty. They just want to grow it enough where there is this investment, there is this proof of concept, if you will, and now they're going to take this to as many places as possible and have you try to pay top dollar for the thing you were getting a really good deal on. So what do I mean by that? Well, recently we saw that Xbox
None of what he said is good. None of what he said is good.
Cloud Gaming
At all.
is headed to Amazon Fire Stick TV. And you can actually see here, there is
Amazon what? Xbox, Amazon Fire Stick, TV, Fire TV Stick 4K Max with a robot white core wireless controller bundle plus free month of... What the hell is this?
there's a bundle announced by Xbox and Amazon, which includes a wireless controller, Fire TV Stick 4K Max,
Wow.
and a month of Game Pass Ultimate. Now, I know it's Prime Day as I'm taking a look at this. Normally, it's $120, but for $80, you get a controller, a month of Game Pass Ultimate, the Fire TV Stick 4K Max, as well as the remote itself.
By the way, why is it Game Pass Ultimate? Let me explain how these bundles, these deals work when you buy them. The idea is, hey, it's a controller, and yeah, sure, I'll take the Xbox Game Pass for the maximum price amount. The idea here is that I don't even know how much they're honestly making on selling the controller here, but the idea behind this is simple. You get the best tier of the Game Pass, and then after the month ends, you understand what you are now missing. And then you just resubscribe because some feature in there was really neat and you liked it, and there you go. They hooked you on the maximum tier subscription. That's how these things are designed to work.
The controller usually goes for $60. A month of Ultimate's now $20.
Wait, I'm sorry. Was this woman just now playing Fallout 76? Yes, she was. Okay, first of all, that's probably not even the real woman. Let's be completely real. Second of all, this is clearly CGI. Third of all, no one plays Fallout 76. Good luck convincing me otherwise.
Plus the remote is like another 20. So this is a really good deal. I don't want to buy it because I already use my console. I have a PC. Like, I'm good. But if you're interested in this, it is there. But what this communicates is what we've been talking a lot about on Defining Duke, which is, why is PC getting the best deal of the bunch? Because that's where they're trying to grow. That's why console was getting an incredible deal. That's why you were paying $15 a month for Ultimate at one point in time. Subscription services naturally go up. I think you've heard that a million times before, and it doesn't really need any explaining. Like,
they don't need to go up. There's very low reasoning why subscriptions should always go up. The reason why subscriptions go up, by the way, primarily is not that, oh, running the service is more expensive now. Look at how much value we added in, so it's fair that we ask you to pay $1 or $2 extra bucks. No, it's because people abandon the subscription. Disney Plus and Netflix are increasing their prices because their audience is dropping and they need to make up for that money, otherwise line go down. And when line go down, that's really bad, obviously. Then everything becomes really bad all of a sudden. So they need to increase the subscription cost, otherwise line go down. And the moment you do not hit projected sales and hit your budgets, that's it. That's it. That's instantaneously whoop. And yeah, they need to do it. That's why they are rising the price of these things. Not because of value, not because of anything, just because people are abandoning the subscription because they finally realize, wait a minute, this is useless.
it's already expected when you look at Spotify, you look at Disney Plus, you look at Netflix. Like, these prices always get jacked up, and I don't think this is going to be the last price increase. So do not fool yourselves that this is where it ends. It's really about, as Xbox increases the prices, how are they going to add value? Right now they're saying we're going to go in on Call of Duty. That's our added value, and we'll see how that pans out. But the reason
that is such a stupid argument. Also, imagine we're gonna rise subscriptions because now there's Call of Duty here. The Call of Duty, the game that I don't play. Wow, Xbox. I I am so inclined now to pay you more money because of a game that I didn't ask for. Thank you. Yeah, if that's their reasoning, they're completely screwed. There is no way anyone should be stupid enough to think that that's the reasoning. A game that people don't play and now pay more? What do you mean? They might as well add Stardew Valley to their library of games and ask for $5 more at this point. Same thing, different color.
Reason that they're going over to Amazon Fire TV Stick, and the reason that they're putting things like stream Xbox games, no console required, PC Game Pass at like $12 a month, giving you all the perks, like you're eating good over there, is because these are the places they're trying to grow. They've recognized and said a million times, hey, consoles are done growing. You know, those are it. That's the install base. How do we go beyond that? And this is them doing that. They're just accepting like, hey, you 20 to 30 million people are here, and we're going to go and chase the other like 80 to 100 million over there and try to increase the amount of subscriptions on our service. So you give...
I think this is going to go now in circles. Anyway, that was Maddie Plays. Yeah, it's not looking good for Xbox. What can I say? Anyway, bye.